Good morning, kindergarten scholars. It's Miss Murphy here. I'm so excited today because I have a lesson for you about things called nouns and pronouns. These are types of words that we use when we speak and when we write, so it's important to learn about how we use them. Now, you've probably seen nouns before because we've talked about these in class a little bit. A noun is a person, place, or thing. Now, when we talk about complete sentences, we say it needs to answer the questions, who is doing what, right? Usually, the who in your sentence is going to be a noun, right? It's something that your sentence is about. But a noun could be any person, place, or thing. So let's take a look at this, right? Person, place, thing. These are the ideas that nouns are about. Let's check it out. So here we have them divided by category. I gave some examples of some people, places, and things, but there are millions more that you can come up with. So think of one example for each category as we go along. Okay, so here's the category person. I put a picture of Jack Hartman, who we listen to sing songs about like counting by fives and stuff. I know you've probably heard a lot of Jack Hartman this year, right? So he's a person. Another person would be grandma, right? Grandma is a noun because she's a person. Another noun could be the Florida Gators, right? Here's a picture of some of the Gators on 100 Day. Say the word noun with me. Noun. A noun is a person, place, or thing. You got it. Okay, so let's check out our place column here. Here's a picture of Minnesota. Minnesota is a place. I also put a picture of school because school is a place. The lake and South America, which we learned about earlier this week, right? So all of these things could be a place, even though some of them are really big places, right? Like South America is an entire continent, and school is like a smaller place, right? Our school is not nearly as big as South America. And they could also be really specific, like Minnesota tells us an exact state, or they could be general, like the lake, because there are lots of different lakes out there and it doesn't necessarily tell us which lake, right? But they're all places. And finally, a noun could also be a thing or an animal. So I put a picture of a puppy in here. A puppy is a noun. Cupcakes are a noun. They're a thing. And Play-Doh is also a noun. What's another noun that you can think of? A person, place, or thing. You could say your own name. You could say anything in front of you. Your computer that you're using is a noun. There are lots of nouns out there. Now we're going to take a look at words called pronouns. Say it with me, ready? Pronoun. A pronoun is a special type of word that replaces a noun. Pronouns are important because they help our sentences be a little bit more quick, right? So listen to my story, and I want you to think about why pronouns are important. Okay. My dog likes to play. My dog plays fetch. My dog goes and gets the ball when I throw it, and my dog brings it back to me. I repeated my dog so many times in that story, you might have gotten tired of hearing it, right? And I was pretty tired of saying it. It would also take a long time to write down. So instead, we use pronouns to replace a noun after we've already said the name of who we're talking about, right? So we're going to take a look at some of the nouns that we learned about and which pronouns we can use to replace them if we're telling a story, right? So if I was saying Jack Hartman sings songs. He has a guitar, right? I could use the pronoun he to replace Jack Hartman's name. What about cupcake? What word could I use to replace cupcake? Ready? I had a cupcake for my sister's birthday. It had sprinkles on it. Well, what pronoun did I use there? It, right? The word it replaced the cupcake. What about grandma? Let's think of a story about grandma. My grandma lives in Pennsylvania. She is really nice. What pronoun did I use there? Sure, yep. She can be a pronoun that we would use to talk about our grandma. Really nice. Okay, let's try a couple more. The Florida Gators. That's our noun. So our nouns are right over here. And then in the box, this is where we're writing the pronouns that we can use to replace them. So listen to my story about the Florida Gators. The Florida Gators had so much fun celebrating 100 Day. We made a tower of 100 cups. What pronoun did I use there? We, right? I use the pronoun we because I was part of that group, right? If I was talking about another class, like if I was talking about Cincinnati, I wouldn't say we, I would say they. But if Miss Sahutsky was talking about Cincinnati, she would say we, right? Okay, here's Miss Murphy. So let's try a story. Miss Murphy loves teaching about words. I, yeah, confused there. I am excited to have this lesson today. What pronoun replaced my own name? I, right? We learned about this pronoun when we were writing about our opinions, right? We wrote about things that we remembered and the way that we felt about them, and we used the word I. You only use that word when you're talking about yourself, right? Okay, and the last one here is fourth graders. So I'm not a fourth grader. I don't think any of you are fourth graders, right? Because you're kindergartners. So what pronoun could we use if we're talking about fourth graders? Let's think. Fourth graders share a hallway with some other scholars in Prodeo. They sit in bigger chairs than we do. What do you think? What pronoun? They, right? They is used when we're talking about a group of people or a group of things, but we're not part of it, right? Nice job. Okay, now we're going to practice replacing the noun that's underlined with a pronoun, okay? Get ready. The first sentence says, my family and I went for a walk. Okay, let's think about it. We've got my family and I. That's more than one person. And are you part of the group in this case? Yeah, right? Because you're included. What pronoun would we use to say blank went for a walk? Yep, so if I'm talking and I said my family and I would use we. We went for a walk. Okay. The next one says, my friends are here. My friends. So it's a group of people, but does that include you? You're not your own friend, right? What pronoun could we use? Say, my friends are here, and then continue telling the story. Yep, they are here. So we could say, my friends are here. They like to play soccer, right? Okay. The marker is purple. The marker is purple. Our noun here is the marker, right? That's a thing that our sentence is about. The marker is purple. Fill in the blank, ready? The marker is purple. Blank is my favorite marker to write with. It, right? Because we're talking about a thing, we would say it is purple. Fabulous. One more. You got this. You're rocking it with our pronouns so far. Okay. The girl ran so fast. The girl ran so fast. What could we use to replace the girl in this sentence? You've got it. The word she, right? She ran so fast. The sentence is telling us the girl ran fast. And we can use the pronoun she to tell about that in a shorter way. Fabulous. So let's do some practice on our own now. So go ahead and find your kindergarten reading workbook that looks like this and a pencil, and we're going to practice. So pause the video and hit play when you have all of your materials ready. Okay, so we're going to turn to this page. It says circle the pronoun to match the picture. If you need a minute to find the page, you can hit pause again. Okay, so up here I see a person with a baseball we are going to choose a pronoun to circle. This one says he and this one says she. Well, sometimes it's hard to tell or assume what pronouns someone might use, but usually if we're going to assume that this is a boy, what pronoun could we use to talk about him? He, right? Nice job. I'm going to circle that. You can circle it on your paper as well. Let's check out the next one. This person is reading a book, and our options are it and she. What do you think? Yep, we wouldn't call we wouldn't call this person an it, right? We'll pick she because that tells about a person, right? Nice job. Okay, now we've got this kind of like dragon, monster, dinosaur thing. What pronoun do you think we could use to describe this monster? Could we call it an it or a he? Maybe sometimes you would call a dinosaur a he, but usually we would call we could, if you have a pet, sometimes you would call it like a he or a she, but for this animal, because it's like a make-believe creature, we would probably call it an it, yeah. Like it is walking with its back hunched over. Nice. Okay, and now we have a picture of a family down at the bottom, and our options say we or it. Now, this might be a little confusing because this isn't a picture of your family, but imagine you're this little girl or this little boy, and you're talking about your family. What would you say? Would you call it we or it? Yeah, right? Just like when we said my family and I are going for a walk, we are going for a walk. It's a group that you are part of. Fabulous. So when you're all done with this page, you're going to turn to the next page. And again, we're going to be matching some nouns to some pronouns. So the first one is done for us. It says Sam and I, and the line over here is drawn to the word we, right? You know that word, it's a sight word. So this is a group of more than one person and you are part of it, right? So you use the word we. What about Jane? Jane, we're assuming Jane is the name of a girl. What pronoun could we use to talk about Jane? Right? She. Jane likes to read. She reads for an hour every day. All right, let's check out our next one. Mom and dad. So again, we have more than one person, but is this a group that you're part of? Are you mom and dad? No. So what would we say? Fabulous. They. Mom and dad like to eat spaghetti. They cook spaghetti 2 times a week. Okay, here's the word or the name Bob. Bob, again, we can assume for now for this worksheet that Bob is a boy. So what pronoun would we use to replace Bob? Fabulous, he, right? Because it's one person and we are assuming that he's a boy and uses the pronouns he. That might not always be true, but that's one of the most common ones that we can use. Okay, the small frog. The small frog, so we're talking about an animal. What pronoun could we use? Yep, we could use the pronoun it to talk about the small frog. If this frog was your pet and you said this frog is a boy, I'm going to call this frog a he, you could do that too. But for now, we're going to call the small frog it, right? So at home, you can practice your pronouns by finding nouns or objects in your house or people who are nouns, right? And you can practice using pronouns to make your sentences shorter and your stories more interesting, right? Well, thank you for learning with me today, kindergarten. When you're all finished with your worksheets, have someone at home take a picture of your completed work and text it to your teacher so that we can see all of your hard work today. Thanks for learning with me. As always, I had so much fun. See you soon, kindergarten.